Thank you for being here this morning. I'm Dennis Flores, and I'm a member of the Pueblo Education Coalition. But more importantly, I'm a grandfather to an 8-year-old grandson that attends Pueblo City schools. And so I have very, very deep roots within the district and several things that we're concerned about. I think it's instructive to let the community know why Pueblo Education Coalition was established to begin with. Our goals were very simple and direct. You know, we wanted transparency from the board. We wanted them to be held accountable, and we wanted them to communicate with us as to what they were doing. This press conference today is to review what advances the district attained during the tenure of Dr. Constance Jones and provide critical data reflecting and confirming her successes and giving Dr. Jones the accolades that she deserves. Let's review where we've been and what the state of Colorado has established as criteria. As you know, the Colorado Department of Education uses a formula of reading, of math, of writing, of ATC scores, graduation rates, and dropout rates. And then the total scores are calculated at each school, and they earn a score, and they fall into a range of 3 or 4 categories. It's almost like a ladder with 4 rungs. The bottom rung, obviously you don't want to be off the ladder. That would denote that the state has taken over the district. But if you look at the 2 lower rungs, the turnaround and the priority improvement was the area that we really struggled with in our district. Hopefully, you know, at some point we get all of our schools in the improvement and performance area. Here is the important thing. No school or district can stay in either of the 2 lowest categories for more than 5 years without the intervention of the state, which can impose sanctions. Again, we are here today to give credit where credit is due. What I am presenting to you today is clear evidence that Dr. Jones was making a difference in spite of having one hand tied behind her back. What is instructive about the recent scores and the report card received by the Pueblo City schools was that they were given to the district after Dr. Jones was forced to resign. This information would have been very valuable in her evaluation, especially to the 3 new school board members. Let's review the last 5 years of where many of our schools found themselves. These are all year ending. We had 12 schools in 2012 that were either in priority improvement or turnaround status. In 2013, that increased to 2 more schools, so we had a total of 14 schools. In 2014, it went up to 16 in those 2 lower rungs of that ladder. And in 2015, the state decided just to freeze everyone. They called a timeout. But I think it would be very easy to discount what Dr. Jones has done by saying maybe the credit goes back to the previous superintendent, previous board, or other variables. But again, I wanted to note that we went from 12 to 16. It was actually going in the wrong direction. This year, after much work, the number with priority improvement and turnaround dropped to 7, and it would be logical to say that we only have 6 now in those 2 lower rungs of the ladder. Imagine, over the last 2 years, which coincidentally mirrors Dr. Jones' tenure here, we dropped from 16 to 6. That is an incredible achievement in my view. The other significant factor is that our entire district rating moved up from priority improvement to improvement. The watchful eyes of the state now are not there as an imposing detriment to our continued success. Prior to Dr. Jones' arrival, the district had decreased the number of schools in the top 2 categories. Again, kind of the same trend in the upper 2 rungs of the ladder. In 2012, we had 21. In 2013, it dropped to 19. 2014, it dropped to 17. This is the wrong direction. This means that we were losing schools. Again, in 2015, we were frozen. Today, we have 26 of our schools in those 2 higher rungs of the ladder. That's an increase of 55% over the last 2 years. 2 schools, Irving and Franklin Elementary, improved 3 plan types. In other words, those 2 schools went from the lowest rung of the ladder to the very top. And we have 5 schools that improved 2 plan types. And we have 7 schools that improved by 1 rung of this ladder that I've described as an analogy. There are so many other, the data, I would encourage everyone to look at the data because it is very eye-opening. 4 of the 6 innovation zone schools moved out of priority improvement or turnaround and are off the state accountability clock. 14 schools improved by at least 1 designation. Many schools kept current designation, including the performance column, but increased their point total. On a personal note, I had the good fortune of meeting Dr. Jones when she arrived in Pueblo, and I never met anyone that was so enthusiastic about kids and her vision of what she intended to do to improve the district. And one of the projects that I had the good fortune while I was on city council was to work on a project to bring one of the Comcast PEG channels to the district. And through her efforts and through the discussion about how this was going to help our district and help our kids, that was done. And effective July 1 of this year, District 60 now has a PEG channel that I believe is channel 19 now. So that was one of the more intimate moments that I had as far as my interaction with Dr. Jones. She was very professional in every way. To Dr. Jones, we want you to know that many of us in the community recognize her tireless work on behalf of our children. The facts that I have cited speak for themselves. We also know that she would be giving much credit to her staff, her administrators, and her teachers that have worked so hard during the 2 years while she was at the helm of Pueblo City Schools. This coalition also recognizes all those individuals that share in this achievement but chose to leave the district. I would like to ask the board to look at the facts and use this as a teachable moment. Before you make an important decision, obtain credible data to support your vote. You still have a chance to provide reasoning for your removing Dr. Jones. Be independent champions for our children and community. And please, not only independent champions, but also in your critical deliberations, be very critical and independent as to how you move this district forward. And my last comment in closing is, if results like these do not impress the board, what chance does any incoming superintendent have? Thank you.
I also, and other members of the coalition, would like to extend their congratulations to everyone that was involved in the effort to strengthen our students' achievement and to remove the district from the state accountability clock. We would be remiss in not recognizing Gina Gallegos, who was instrumental in this process, but chose to move to another school district because of the constant criticism and micromanagement by the board. Canyon City's gain is our loss. And as Mr. Flores indicated, what we did not hear in the article that was in the paper were the statistics surrounding the decision to remove Pueblo City Schools from the accountability clock. He has given to you the information on the schools that were removed. There's more to the story. During the tenure of Dr. Jones, the median growth percentile increased in all grades and subject areas except the 8th and 9th grade math. 8th remained the same and 9th declined. So during her tenure of 2 years, not only did she and her staff that worked so tirelessly, in spite of the interference they were getting from the board, did a phenomenal job in turning the school around, not only from the school accountability clock with the state, but also in terms of the academics involved. So what does this tell us? It tells us that today there has still been no reason given by the Board of Education for the forced retirement of Dr. Jones. In fact, what we do know is that they paid her everything she was entitled to, and by their own admission on state statements they made, tape statements that they made, they admitted that they were going to choose their option to buy out her contract that was in the contract. At no time during that discussion among her, Phyllis Milner, Phyllis Sanchez, Patty Milner, and Richard Bump did they give any reason, any specific reason whatsoever as to why they thought she should be removed. And all the time, the board was aware that they were awaiting the results of these tests that Mr. Flores gave to you. It was impetuous for them to reach any kind of conclusion without having the full information before them in their determination to force Dr. Jones' resignation. And that's in addition to the others that they have forced out. Other numerous and loyal and local school employees who were the part of the success we just experienced through Dr. Jones' leadership. What this is, again, is proof that this board that believes in operating in secret has the agenda to fill for their own personal and political needs at the expense of the students in this district.